Welcome back to the Idea Garage. I'm Rob. Today we're going to build this router table. Okay, some of the things that you might like about this router table is I've got a drawer at the bottom, pulls out. It's nice and big to hold any bits or accessories. Also have on the right side, we've got this on-off switch that goes back behind this panel. There's a little bit of the dust collection system. I'll show you that further on in the video. On this side, I've got a pull-out drawer where I can hang tools and those sorts of things. I need to build the hangers for those, and I'll get those eventually. Inside here is the chamber where the router sits with dust collection at the bottom. On top, I've got a smooth Formica top with a fence, which is faced with Formica as well. These fence plates are adjustable in and out and can be locked in place with these knobs here. The fence itself can move back and forth in these tracks, locked into position. And if you notice here, I have dust collection at the fence as well, which travels down behind the back and into the dust collection from the main chamber below. This comes out the side of the router table over here, where a 3D printed magnetic catch dust collection fitting is available to do dust collection for above and below the table. I've mounted the entire thing on casters, so it's easily moved around the shop, making this a very useful tool that you can hide away when necessary. So I want to show you guys kind of my process when I go to design something. So first I do kind of a rough sketch, kind of giving an idea of the dimensions I want and kind of move through and adjust things as necessary. This is not to scale. This is kind of just me doing a quick kind of mock-up of where I'm going to go, get measurements, figure out parts of things that I'm going to need. So I've labeled these different sides and rails and etc. And this is really not the exact parts that may be in the finished piece, but this is just to give me a rough idea of what I need. So I can go through and I've drawn out kind of a rough sketch of the plywood and how I'm going to get those to fit and go through. And you can see I've X'd these out here because I decided I wanted to make them a little bit larger. They're not going to fit on that sheet of plywood. So obviously a little bit of moving around and stuff as I go. But I go through and do this. One thing that I've also done is I've gone and done a little bit more of a scale drawing of just the top-down view. This one actually is to scale. And what I've done is kind of shown in the dashed lines here what the framework underneath the router table that I'm going to be building is going to be. And the orange color here is for the dust collection pipe that I have. So it's going to show where it's going to enter the chamber, where the router is going to be here, how that's going to come out. It's going to have a single connection on the outside of the cabinet below the top. And this little thing here is for the 2.5-inch hose. It's going to come up and connect to the router table fence to allow dust collection there. So you can see this piece right here I've got mocked up. Let's see if I can zoom out here. I've got this mocked up to where it's going to come in. So this is going to go into the chamber where the router is going to be, collect from below. This piece here is going to have a 2.5-inch hose connected up, and that's going to come through and come through the top, which I've got this cutout here, and that's going to be able to move and flex depending on which area on the table the fence actually is. So with that, it's just kind of my process of figuring out how I'm going to lay the thing out, where the parts are going to be cut from, and that sort of thing. So um, let's go and get some parts cut out.
Thought it'd be golden, crossing the line and don't look back. Think I was broken, I needed some time to clear my head. 'Cause I've made all the mistakes and I've dealt with the heartbreaks, but I think that I found my way. 'Cause I've been sinking like a stone, Carolina, take me home. Nothing's ever really broken, I won't let you go. 'Cause I'm finding my way right back to you. I'll find my way back to you. I see a river floating its way out to the sea. I can remember carving our names onto that.
Okay, what I'm going to do with this is build it from the inside out. So if you look at the plans, I've got this section here. Basically, this board right here along the center, that's what this board is. I've called it mid-bottom, but basically that's going to be the divider. Like I said, I'm going to build this from the inside out, starting with the chamber, and then I'm going to move to the dust collection, so have a good idea how that's going to be laid out. And so the first thing I want to do is I want to find center line. This is the width, so we're 28.5 inches here. So find the center. That is 14.25 inches. And I'll mark that off with a straight edge just to make sure that we use that as our reference for everything else. So being that this is the back of the cabinet, I need space between the back and chamber to allow space for the router to go in this area here. So I cut this piece right here. It's called mid-back. It's going to basically stand up like this, and then each side, which will be these, will flank this right here to enclose the space. So if you get a good idea of what I'm doing here, I'm going to pocket hole all these in, set them down to this mid board. Then once these are all set into place, I will cut to fit the back and the sides. On the back where it goes into the router chamber, I want to make it a little bit more tight because I want this one to not have any airflow coming around the pipe. So I'm going to cut this directly to the diameter of the pipe that's going to go through, and then I will probably use some tape to make sure that the seal is nice and secure and doesn't let air flow around the pipe and only goes through. So I'll get this cut out and this cut out, and then we'll cut some pocket holes to attach those to the base. And before I go to cut these out, I'm going to actually go ahead and show you how I'm going to do a radius up here, so it's not just a square cut, but these are some radius things that I've 3D printed. They actually fit into a thing, so I can do a flush trim if I want to with a router, but I'm going to just go ahead and use this to mark my radius here, just make it look nice. Okay, so we've got most of the carcass built, actually pretty much all the carcass built. We've got the bottom brace here. I did this off camera to go across to span, and it's going to provide support for the feet. I am going to do roller feet for these. So right now I need to go through and build little wedges out of some scrap in each of these corners to hold all these feet. So I can get this thing flipped over and then start working on the top. Okay, now we've got the carcass completely built. I'm going to go through and do a couple of things to make it easier to get the router in here. So this is the router plate router that I'm going to use. Once I build the top, I'm going to fit that into that and put it on top of here. For now, I'm going to do a couple of braces here to kind of keep the separation between these, because these are a little more flimsy than I would like. Then I'm going to cut some holes kind of in the back here to allow power to go out, and I'll probably cut down a little bit in the back here to make sure that I have access, because right now everything right here will be completely shut off. So I may even cut down even further to allow me to access the pipes in the back even though I don't think I'll ever need to. But just in case, I'll have that for me available. So yeah, here we go. Here, got the dust collection port coming out the side. Everything's pretty sturdy on the inside with that now. Now I have to figure out a way to hook up my dust collection hose. So I 3D printed this here, and it's going to fit on here. And this is epoxying in these magnets that allow it to hook up to my hose. My hose has a matching connector. Show that to you in a second. But here's the hose. It has this on here, but these match up with this, and then just a quick twist, and these magnets are different polarities. So you twist it one direction, they repel. Twist it the other direction, and they attract. So it's pretty easy to take these things on and off, and they stay pretty steady when they're hooked up to the hose itself and it's running. So I'm going to go ahead and get this put on here. It's just simple as sliding this over. Once I get it set, I'm going to tighten this down just basically to keep it in place. This down there is pretty sturdy. Now it should allow me to connect and disconnect pretty easily. So I'll hook up like that and twist to pull it off. So pretty easy. Should give me pretty good dust collection for the cabinet. And now again, I mentioned before, we have this right here where that hose is going to come up. It's going to come up through the top here and then into the fence. It's going to eventually be up here. Not sure if you noticed when I initially put this down, I had a little bit of overhang to allow me to make sure I get this the right spot. And of course I screwed up. So what I did to fix it was I took a little piece off the edge and I just kind of met it up to this guy. I'll trim it off. There'll be maybe a 1/4 inch uh, of this extra stuff showing at the edge, but it's a shop cabinet, so not too big of a deal. But it's kind of bummer that I didn't get this right the first time. It's my first time putting this stuff down, and yeah, when they say it sticks, it's not going anywhere. It's going where you put it. So don't do like me. Make sure that you get everything lined up correctly before you start pressing it down. Other than that, um, this is good. Going to trim it up a little bit and keep going. Okay, here we are. We are going to trim the laminate off the top. I'm going to use my DeWalt palm router here. And if you look, this bit here, just a quick thing, this piece right here rests on the wood underneath, and that cutter right there will trim the laminate flush. So let's get started. Okay, here I am getting ready to set up to cut the hole in the top for the router plate. I've got the router plate here. What I've done is I've set this up and kind of set where I want to put the hole on the top. One thing that you'll notice is my router bit here, focus, isn't quite all the way out to that bearing. So I've got to create some gaps. I didn't feel like buying a new router bit just to do this. I probably will get one eventually, but what I did is I printed up these 3D printed these little shims to go in between, and it basically equates to the gap between that bearing and the router bit cutting edge. So what I do is I've basically taken these and I've stuck them between here and clamped down these two boards to basically give me the edges that I need to run the bearing across. I'm going to do this in two passes for this. I've got it set up to cut this section and then this section, and I have to reset up to get the other side of the